I don't think a lot of people realize how big this is going to be for the economy, right? I don't think people realize this. I know people back in my hometown in Memphis, Tennessee, they spend 50% of their income on their car, okay? Gas, insurance, oil changes, getting a new tire every once in a while because the roads are messed up. You're driving on the roads, you pop a tire. I mean, it's not your fault, but it feels like your fault because you was driving, right? When people that spend 50% of their income, when on a car, when they have the option to, you know, take an autonomous car, to take a robo-taxi, and it's gonna cost them way less, and they don't even have to drive, they don't have to worry about getting a DUI, they don't have to worry about getting pulled over by the police for being black on a Friday night. I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be a different world. You're gonna have people working less because so many people work now because think about it, you spend so much time just getting to work. You gotta have a car just to get to work. You gotta have a car to make money. And then, you know, to keep that car moving, you gotta constantly put gas in it, and gas is constantly going up, and you have no control over this, right? Autonomous cars in San Francisco, my prediction. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Jermaine, back with another video, and yo, let's just jump right into this one. So in this video, we're gonna talk about autonomous cars in San Francisco, but before we just dive right into autonomous cars, let's just talk about some of the changes that the city has been going through for the past couple years. So a couple things I've noticed is they've been eliminating a lot of parking spots in like places like Soma and downtown, and they've also eliminated like a lot of like regular lanes and made like bus lanes and stuff so the buses can flow through a little bit faster. They've, you know, eliminated like 3-lane streets and made them 2-lane streets so this way cars can drive slower. And once again, they've eliminated a lot of parking. And when you start to eliminate parking, people know and people realize, look, I don't know where I'm gonna park if I go to the city, so maybe I'll go to the city and don't bring my car. The city definitely does not want you to bring your car to the city. The other day I was talking to a friend, and he was saying how his girlfriend lives in the East Bay, and she drives over to the city, and when she drives from the East Bay to the city, she has to sit in traffic, right? She has to pay the toll, right? And then when she gets here, yeah, in his neighborhood, there's no parking meters. So it's just 2-hour parking. Now, the most annoying thing about 2-hour parking, if you want to stay longer than 2 hours, you kind of have to keep moving your car. And then if you don't move your car and you get a ticket, it's like a $90 ticket. And who wants to deal with a $90 ticket? So now my homie was telling me that his friend would just rather just leave her car in Oakland, take BART over, and, you know, don't have to worry about moving the car and don't have to worry about getting any tickets and just kind of go with the flow. And that is what that's really what the city wants. That's really what the city wants. And this is why, you know, the car break-ins are a big deal. Like, that just tells people, oh, I don't want my car over there. And then the parking, freaking, who wants to pay $60, you know, to park your car? Like, gosh, I've seen like $60, $70 parking like overnight at some of these hotels. Who wants to do that if you got a big SUV? $75 for parking. I mean, that's a lot of money, right? That's a boatload of money, and a lot of people just don't want to. This is something that a lot of people don't want to do. Now, let's just jump right into the whole autonomous car program. So the other night, I was, you know, talking with someone, and, you know, this person was saying, okay, autonomous cars are 10 years away, and I was thinking, okay, they're 10 years away, and then I, you know, later, you know, brought up, well, you're saying that autonomous cars are 10 years away, but do you realize in San Francisco right now at night, you can take an autonomous ride with Waymo and Cruise? These are 2 companies where you can take an autonomous ride. There is no driver in the seat, right? It's already here today. Now, a lot of people wonder, how is this gonna roll out? Like, how is this gonna be a thing? Like, how are they gonna get people to get rid of their cars? So I thought I would, you know, make a video and talk about this, because we don't exactly know how this is gonna play out, but we can sort of imagine, okay? And we can sort of try to figure out, okay? Now, a couple months ago, there was a big proposal in the city that they wanted to charge people to drive into Chinatown, Union Square, and I believe Fisherman's Wharf, right? And it probably would, and, you know, it would, of course, it would probably include other areas, but this was like a big proposal. And of course, just like most local people in San Francisco, they were completely against it, because people are like, no, I want to be able to drive my car wherever. I don't want to have to pay a toll to, you know, drive into the city, and, you know, I don't make enough income, and, you know, I'm on this and that. You know, everyone had some excuse, right? Well, I think what that rule is, I think that, not that rule, but I think this whole like toll deal, this could possibly be something in the future that could, get less drivers to drive into, Union Square. And if this works, if you can get less drivers to drive into Union Square because you're going to charge them more money to take their car into Union Square, guess what? You could very well get a lot of people not to come to Union Square, and you can get a lot of people not to bring their cars to certain parts of the city. And if the city is successful at doing this, which I think that they will be, especially if it's like $10 to drive your freaking car down to Fisherman's Wharf, you're going to have a lot of people that, maybe they would drive their car to Fisherman's Wharf every day. And maybe they lived in the Mission District and they would get in their car and drive to Fisherman's Wharf. Well, if they start charging some fee, like if it was $10 or something to go to Fisherman's Wharf, I would imagine you would have less people driving to Fisherman's Wharf. Now with the cleared out streets, because it costs X amount of money to take your car into this different neighborhood, this could be very, very easy for autonomous cars to operate. Now, when we talk about autonomous cars, I think a lot of people think that autonomous cars have to do the same exact thing. It has to drive the same exact way as a human. It has to respond the same exact way. And no. I think autonomous cars, it's going to be completely different from a lot of people are imagining. You can imagine that an autonomous car will not speed, okay? This city has a speed limit of 25 miles an hour. Guys, people drive like crazy around, like especially in Soma, like it's like 25 miles an hour around here. I constantly see people flooring it. I think autonomous cars, it's going to take you a whole lot longer to get from point A to point B in an autonomous car. Bottom line, hands down, if you are going from downtown San Francisco and you want to go to, let's say the marina, right? A human driver would probably get you there a lot faster, a whole lot faster than an autonomous car, because a human driver is going to do things like speed up. Maybe there's a yellow light, maybe the human driver speeds up, goes through the yellow light, and then they're able to make the next green light, the next green light, the next green light. They almost, hit a biker along the way. They had to slow down, but then they made the next green light. They got you there faster, right? Autonomous car is not going to do that, okay? Autonomous car, you tell it to go 25 miles an hour, it's going to go 25 miles an hour. Autonomous car is not going to go, flying through a yellow light, or it's not going to go, get super close and, scare the heck out of a pedestrian. It's probably going to slow down. It's probably going to act a lot safer. And when you have a lot of autonomous cars in one area and they're going slow and they don't have to, interfere with human drivers, you can start to change things quite a bit. Now, I know a lot of people out there are going to say, what about pedestrians? What about pedestrians? Well, the thing about pedestrians is these autonomous cars are going to have so many cameras on them. So if you have pedestrians that, the type of pedestrians that hate autonomous cars, so they want to do things to, mess up the autonomous cars, so they want to go out in the street and block traffic. Well, these autonomous cars are going to have cameras on them, and those cameras are going to see who's doing this, right? And I'm pretty sure eventually, like maybe you'll get in trouble, maybe you'll get some ticket in the mail or something for messing with autonomous cars, because they all will have cameras on them and they all will be scanning the area. And when we think about autonomous cars, we think about how it's going to take longer to get from point A to point B. If it's going to take longer to get to from point A to point B, I would imagine that there's going to be a whole lot more traffic on the streets, a whole lot more traffic. Now, let's just use this example, okay? You and I were driving, we're a human driver. Well, we're human drivers, right? And we're driving in the city. Well, we're going to get there faster, right? Well, since we're getting to our location faster because I was speeding, because I went through a couple yellow lights and I got really, really close to a biker and almost, made the biker crash, but we got to our destination faster. However, we also got off of the street faster. So it's one less car off of the street quicker. Now, autonomous cars, on the other hand, it's probably going to be a lot of them, and there's probably going to be traffic jams. However, traffic jams may actually be kind of safe for autonomous cars, because now they're not getting up to fast speed. They may not even be getting up to 25 miles an hour if it's completely gridlocked. Also, another scenario to think about with autonomous cars is if this actually works, right? if you can take an autonomous car, well, I would imagine like Amazon deliveries and the post office and UPS, a lot of these are going to be autonomous. So there's going to be a lot of traffic, because if a Tesla or a Waymo can drive a person point A to point B, well, who's to say that you can't like fill up a truck from Home Depot with construction equipment and send it straight to the construction project without like anyone in the vehicle? I think there's going to be a lot of things moving, and there's going to be a boatload of traffic, but I don't think the traffic is going to be a bad thing, right? Because think about it. If you are going to work, right, and there's a lot of traffic and you have to sit in the car and you have to sit there and drive, well, that's one thing. But if you are sitting in a car in traffic and you're not driving, right, and you're on the back seat, well, it might take you longer to get to work, but so what? You're not driving. You can do other things, right? You're not paying attention to the road. You can do other things. You can be working, getting work done before you even show up to work. Another thing to think about with driverless cars, and this is one that's pretty wild and pretty out there, right? If we have mad traffic all the time, and these autonomous cars have cameras around them, 360 cameras, and they can see everything, would we really need as many police? Or would the police have a different role? Would the police have a different job, right? For example, with autonomous cars, we won't need traffic cops, right? Maybe traffic cops would go after, people who are blocking autonomous cars, but I would think that, if someone was blocking an autonomous car, with everyone's face on the internet, and I would think that they would figure out who it is, and maybe they would ding them in the system. But I actually don't think that that's going to be a thing in the future. I think that people are going to be so excited and so happy to use an autonomous car that it's going to be a cool thing. But when you think about the police, if there's a crime happening, there would be so many cameras watching that the cameras would see it. So I guess the role of the police would be, you just go and grab the person that's in the place, right? I guess I guess they would have a different role, because, there would be so many cameras around and so much would be recorded. And this is just something very, very different. Another random thing to think about when we talk about autonomous cars: what about emergency vehicles? Okay, what about a fire truck? Of course, if we have all autonomous cars in the street, well, if a fire truck was coming through, all the autonomous cars could just get out of the way, and then the humans can just drive the fire truck to the location. But what about things like paramedics? Would that be all autonomous, or would the autonomous cars just pull over off to the side and let the human driver just continue to go through? I would imagine with autonomous cars, I may be talking a little too far, but I would imagine with autonomous cars we could very well see less convenience stores, because with an autonomous car you could basically have a convenience store in the car, and the car could just show up to my house, and I could just walk outside and be like, yeah, got my Coca-Cola and my pretzels, thanks a lot, autonomous car. You were fast. 7-Eleven could literally come up on wheels. It doesn't have to be this little box. It can be a 7-Eleven van. That's a vending machine van, right? Think about that, a vending machine van that's autonomous, and you just hit the app and you're like, oh, which one is close? Oh, there's one 3 blocks away. Okay, I'm gonna go downstairs because there's the autonomous vending machines coming, and I need to get some Coca-Cola and also some laundry detergent because I need to do my laundry detergent. I really believe this will happen in San Francisco. I believe this will be the first major city in the world that does this. However, maybe some places in China will beat us to it, but I think it'll be the first major city in the U.S. Now, autonomous cars have been around for a little bit. It's funny. The other night I was talking to someone, and they're telling me how Ford is, Ford is gonna, make an electric car and all this. Ford has tons of debt, and then this other person, my response was Ford has tons of debt. They have a lot of obligations and a lot of retirees, and then I went on to say, Tesla is working on AI, and Tesla is more of an AI company, and this person was saying, no, Tesla's a car company, and I was saying, no, Tesla's an AI company. And then we later on, went on to say, we just went back and forth a little bit, and it was kind of one of those one of those kind of like arguments, like this person hates Tesla and I'm like a Tesla fan, and I'm all about full self-driving and I'm all about autonomy, and I really want these companies to win, because if these companies win, I don't think a lot of people realize how big this is going to be for the economy, right? I don't think people realize this. I know people back in my hometown in Memphis, Tennessee, they spend 50% of their income on their car, okay? Gas, insurance, oil changes, getting a new tire every once in a while because the roads are messed up. You're driving on the roads, you pop a tire. I mean, it's not your fault, but it feels like your fault because you was driving, right? When people that spend 50% of their income, when on a car, when they have the option to take an autonomous car, to take a robo-taxi, and it's gonna cost them way less, and they don't even have to drive, they don't have to worry about getting a DUI, they don't have to worry about getting pulled over by the police for being black on a Friday night. I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be a different world. You're gonna have people working less, because so many people work now, because think about it, you spend so much time just getting to work. You gotta have a car just to get to work. You gotta have a car to make money. And then, to keep that car moving, you gotta constantly put gas in it, and gas is constantly going up, and you have no control over this, right? You have no control over it. It's messed up. When the robo-taxis hit, I'm telling you, people are gonna have more disposable income in a lot of parts of the U.S. If they go there, people are gonna have more disposable income, because instead of spending, all this money on a freaking car, now you can just robo-taxi to work, right? You can robo-taxi to the club, get wasted, coming home from the club, robo-taxi gonna drop you off. You ain't gotta worry about no DUI, I think this is gonna be amazing for the economy. It's gonna be amazing for the economy. And not just places like San Francisco, throughout the freaking country, throughout the country. This is just gonna be amazing. And I totally understand a lot of people. It's kind of hard to believe, like it is. Like, people have been driving for years, and you mean to tell me that's gonna change? I really, really believe that it's going to change, and I'm just gonna give it a time frame. I think it's gonna happen in San Francisco within 2 to 5 years. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's in 1 year, right? And I don't think this is gonna be a big thing. Like, I think, as of now, they're already doing autonomous rides in the city, but they're happening at night, and they're not happening that much. Waymo is doing it. You can sign up for Waymo, for autonomous cars. If you live in San Francisco, you can sign up for, take a ride in a Waymo, and also with Cruise. You can sign up, take a ride in a car with Cruise. And they just recently got licensed to charge for rides. So pretty soon they're going to be charging for rides, right? They're going to be charging for rides in San Francisco. And there's still people out there that says, oh, driverless cars will never happen for 10 years. Like, they are going to be charging for rides. Just a couple days ago, what was it? It was a bill just passed where, like, car companies now, they can build cars with no steering wheel, right? They can build cars with no steering wheel. I'm telling you, the autonomous cars are coming. The robo-taxis are coming, and it's going to be amazing when they come. Another thing about the robo-taxis is, full self-driving for Tesla, I think, is a joke. I really think it is, because it's too much of a liability. Like, bottom line, it's too much of a liability. If you had robo-taxis, and if the company owned the robo-taxis, and the robo-taxis did not go above a certain speed, you can minimize risk so much, right? You can really minimize risk. You got all these cameras around, so if an accident happens, you know exactly what happened, you know exactly who's at fault. And also, companies like Tesla and Waymo, and also Cruise, they're gonna work with cities, They're gonna work with cities. Cities are gonna want this, Cities are going to want this. And another thing that might be insane, just to even say, is if autonomous cars take off in San Francisco, what will that do to the tourism here? Holy cow, dude. The tourism here, people are gonna wanna come here just because, oh, you don't have to drive? Like, you can take you can take a robo-taxi? Bro, if you're a business owner and you got a restaurant, man, it's gonna be so many people coming, because people are gonna wanna see that. Think about conferences and events and stuff like that. So many companies are gonna wanna have their conferences here in San Francisco, especially tech conferences, because this is one of them cities with autonomous cars. Like, the potential is crazy. The home values in San Francisco, if you think it's expensive now, just think of if there's autonomous cars here and you got a driveway, and not a driveway, but if you got a garage. Well, if there's autonomous cars here, you really don't even need your driveway anymore. You don't even need your garage unless you want to, buy a car so you can, drive it outside the city. But wait, if it's all autonomous, in the future, when autonomous cars first launch here, it's not going to be every neighborhood. It's going to start small, and it's going to grow and grow and grow and expand. And over time, it'll probably, take over the whole city. But up until that time, people probably still going to have cars. And once your neighborhood is a part of the autonomous program and humans can't drive there anymore, it's like your car is going to be obsolete if you live in the city, because you won't even be able to take it away from the city. Guys, it's insane. I know this is a little sci-fi, right? It's a little out there, but talking about autonomy just really, really gets me hyped up. Like it really does, and we're close. Like autonomy is close, and it's going to do great things for the economy. It's going to do amazing things for the economy. People are upset about losing their job as a driver. I'm telling you guys, don't be upset about losing your job as a driver. Okay, don't be upset about that. There are going to be more jobs like coming up, and think about it. 10 years ago, think about all the jobs we have today that did not exist 10 years ago. All these social media influencers, like they were not doing this 10 years ago. So who's to say what the next job will be in the future? I think more people will go back to university and go back to college, and we'll have more people studying, and we'll have more people trying to do things like, solve energy crisis and solve world hunger. And, I think people are going to go back to school, and instead of, driving for Uber, maybe someone's going back to college and they're, becoming a scientist or something, and they're bettering life for lots of people instead of just, dropping one person off at the airport, because now we got a robo-taxi, and the robo-taxi can drop people off at the airport. And gosh, I'm just gonna wrap this video up because I can just go on and on and on talking about autonomy, because it's amazing, and like I say, it's gonna do amazing things for the economy, y'all. It's going to do amazing things for the economy. Just wait when there are zero pedestrian deaths in San Francisco. A lot of city leaders would love to see that, y'all. And they're working in that direction, y'all. They are working in that direction. Expect more bike lanes next year, right? No, for the rest of this year. Expect the city to eliminate more parking spots in the city this year. Yeah, they're getting ready for autonomy, y'all. I mean, look at what they did to Embarcadero, y'all. The way they cleared out Embarcadero and got all them cars out of the way and put that bike lane there, man, that is perfect for autonomy, y'all. That's perfect for autonomous cars to just roll through there, y'all. So right now, if you're driving your car in San Francisco, enjoy it. Enjoy it, because you won't be driving your car in this beautiful city forever. Like you won't. Like pretty soon, it's gonna be all autonomy, right? And it's gonna be amazing, y'all. It's gonna be freaking amazing, y'all. It's gonna change, y'all. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and peace out, yo. Ow.